This is Dorothy White, and this is Channel 6. We are ready today to talk to Miss Amber Goody, and she has got all kinds of exciting things going on at Nelson County Schools. I know there's been a lot of changes in the past few months, and a lot of people were very anxious during the superintendent search, and now that that's all taken care of, things are kind of quieting down a little bit. So they got a little quieter, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, just tell me what's kind of going on with you and what projects you're working on.
Okay, so currently we are at the end of the school year, so I can kind of walk you through what we do, a year-long project. But as of right now, we are working with the Area Technology Center on a summer camp. And at that summer camp, students who are approaching 7th through 10th grade will actually be able to sign up for certain pathways. So our Area Technology Center has 9 pathways.
Can you wait 1 minute? A pathway to me, the first time that I heard it, I didn't really know, exactly what it meant.
Okay.
And since you're the College Career Center person, maybe that'll give them an idea, and you could kind of explain that Pathways program to us.
Okay, so a pathway, whenever you hear that term, is probably a career pathway. So students take courses related to that career pathway. So for example, at the Area Technology Center, there is a welding career pathway. So within that welding pathway, students take courses, book studies, and hands-on where they take courses that relate to welding.
Okay, so when you say hands-on, does that mean at a school, hands-on, like ECTC or a technical school is going to teach them how to weld, or is that with like a local business or someone you'd be working with?
So the Area Technology Center actually has labs and hands-on there as well.
Okay.
So they could take a course at the Nelson County Area Technology Center as a freshman,
Okay.
a sophomore, a junior, or a senior.
Wow.
And then they can also go into that post-secondary. There are options, of course, for classes at ECTC once they graduate.
Okay, but they would have to be still high school level until they graduate.
Well, they take classes at the Area Technology Center as a high school student, yes.
Okay. Are those classes all free then to them? They're part of their curriculum at high school?
Yes.
Okay.
So just like a student signs up for English, they can also sign up for welding.
Okay.
They sign up for English, they sign up for math, they can sign up for a nursing course. So those are the career pathways that we offer at that Area Technology Center.
Well, I think that's one thing that people were really excited about at Nelson County. They know that not every child is going to go on to college, and sometimes they're going to follow that career path much sooner rather than later. So how can we expedite that and make it easier for them to, just fold right into that as they get out of high school, or maybe with 1 or 2 years of training?
Mm-hmm. So there are tons of options for our young individuals now. They can graduate high school and go on and do a bachelor's degree, a 4-year degree, but then we don't want to underestimate and forget that those technical skills and technical jobs are just as big right now.
Right.
So electrical work, industrial maintenance work, welding, heating and air. So students can go to a technical college and receive credits and get a 2-year degree or a short-term certificate in one of those skilled positions as well.
Okay, so let's just take heating and air off the top of my head, because whenever you're warm in the summer and the air conditioning is not working, you certainly want to be able to call a good person and have someone come in and take care of that for you. How much training would be involved if a student came to you as a freshman? What kind of pathway would they follow then to become in heating and air?
There's numerous types of options.
Okay.
So heating and air is a pathway at our Area Technology Center, so meaning that students as freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors can take a course there with our heating and air instructor. As far as jobs and careers after high school, I would say different heating and air business and industry require different things.
Yeah.
Some might want a heating and air certificate, some might want heating and air degree, or some might want heating and air experience.
Okay. So if they do get that experience through high school, then they could foreseeably find a position as soon as they graduate.
That's what we hope.
Okay.
So you just opened up a new thing for me. So
Okay.
Nelson County Schools is really big with work-based learning. We've really increased that since I've been with Nelson County Schools. So when I say work-based learning, we're talking about co-ops, internships, that hands-on experience in actual business and industry. So we have tremendous support here in Nelson County. Our students have some great placements with co-ops. co-ops. And so we're always looking for new business and industry who would like to take a senior student and mentor them and help them grow and give them that experience, along with ideally, hopefully they become a full-time employee after graduation or in the near future.
I think that's one thing we really need to look at. I know when I was at the chamber, so many people came in and said, I just can't find good people, I just can't find good people. And the biggest thing that we told them is that the younger that you start, if you start with a senior, junior, or senior, that by the time they graduate, they'd be able to take that internship and work that into a full-time job. And if there's a business out there that is interested in this, if you want some young people to come in maybe for the summer or to start out, whatever kind of plan they wanted to set up as far as the internship. I know my daughter did an internship with IBM when she was I think she was like in her third year of college, but she interned with them for a year, and she did eventually go to work for them, but it took them quite a long time before they hired her. So when a student starts a program like this, what can they expect? How long is it going to take them to get a real job?
Right. Again, every occupation is different depending on what kind of education they want, whether it be high school or after high school.
Okay.
So a lot of our co-ops and work-based learnings run from August to May. So school starts in August, they end in May. We hear tons of success stories from both business and industry and students, whether they end up with a full-time job or if they decide to pursue college. Say we had a student the other day or last year who said they didn't want to pursue college. He did a co-op with a local business and industry, decided he wanted to pursue maintenance, so he decided to go ahead forth with his secondary education.
That's excellent. Well, I know there's a lot of jobs out there that don't require college education, but whatever training they could get, through their high school years, they'd just be that much further ahead when they did go into the workforce. I know sometimes when they're just coming in for the first time, it can be kind of scary and kind of, they're just looking for what options they might have. Are there some jobs that maybe you could tell us about that are out there, different companies that may be offering an internship?
Well, there's a lot, so I better not say one over the other if I don't forget.
Okay.
But I mean, we're huge advanced manufacturing. A lot of our
Okay.
advanced manufacturers take them. Mike's Woodworking's popping up the top of my head. They do
Yeah.
a lot. Conway Heating and Air has a few of our co-ops.
Okay.
Like I said, there are, I think, a list of at least 30. So I don't want
Oh my goodness. So if you are a business or industry that is out there that's interested in bringing on an intern and maybe taking them through the summer, or even just, trying them out, maybe doing some job shadowing and working with another person. I know whenever someone came in, because summer is long for a lot of kids, and I think if they can even do a part-time job, is that something that would be feasible, or are they mostly full-time positions?
No, most of them are part-time, whether they
Okay.
start in the summer or, again, if they start in August for that
Okay.
school year. So a lot of students will take 2 or 3 courses during the day, and then they actually get to leave school half a day to do that co-op and that professional experience.
Okay. And you say have a lot of success stories. Does that mean that student has gone on and been hired by that company, or maybe taken them to a whole nother level?
They've either been hired by the company, or recently we have a student who is actually co-oping in an accounting department, and so he is pursuing a bachelor's degree. So he can't be there full time because he's
Okay.
going to U of L or UK. But what that company was able to do, he was so valued there, and they wanted to keep him, that they're actually going to bring him back every summer. So
yeah.
just making these students making these connections and networking with business and industry, as long as the business and industry has an open mind, there's unlimited possibilities of what could happen.
Yeah, that sounds great. About how many students would you be talking if they're joining that internship program? Is it like just a handful of students, or do you have like?
As far as business and industry, a lot of them only take one student. We
Okay.
don't ask you to start out with 10, just
Okay.
one student. But then some places might have 2 or 3.
Okay.
So
So it just varies on the number of positions they have open or available.
however many they would like to take, yes.
Yeah. Well, that sounds really exciting. I know with the accounting, I have a daughter with an accounting degree, and she did the same thing. She did an internship during the summers while she was doing that, and then eventually went to work for the school itself because she had spent so much time there.
Right.
She really felt, like she belonged, and then they had her working in accounting and admissions, and for her, it just opened all kinds of doors through education, even though she, did not have her degree yet. And then once she achieved the degree, then she was able to go on and, and I think one of the biggest things is it enables you to kind of move up the ladder a little quicker than you may.
It gives you experience, and that's what a lot of our youth right now are lacking, is that experience. And so when you connect them with these business and industries, or they simply go out during our job shadowing day, or they do a mock interview, or they participate in our networking and job fair, all of these events allow our students to make connections and realize what is out there.
Okay. Well, when they're doing the job interview, then they can say, yes, they do have experience in that area, and they can name the companies that they've participated with. And how much training do you really think is necessary? Like if they're already a junior and they're looking at this, would that still be a good opportunity for them to do an internship?
Yes, I mean, again, it comes back to the pathway. Have they completed the pathway? Have they taken those courses needed that the business and industry is looking for? So it's really a multitude of combinations how that work-based learning and internships work.
Okay. Just sounds really interesting. I think a lot of the students there, they kind of feel lost as far as what direction they want to choose. I mean, it's a very young age to determine what you're going to do for the rest of your life. I think when you're going through that process, what are some things that might help them, lead them in the right direction? What, maybe hobbies or things that they're good at?
Volunteer work.
Okay.
Again, that job shadowing, just getting out there and seeing it. A lot of students, healthcare is a high interest among our students.
Good.
And so a lot of students will say nursing, but once they get out there and volunteer at Flagey or do a job shadowing at a local assisted living place, they might realize it's not only nursing, they might realize the OTAs and the PTAs and all the other careers within healthcare that they may have never known about. So really just getting out there, like you said, doing activities.
Right. And I think that's one of the biggest things. I know at Flagey there are literally hundreds of people that work there, and obviously they're not all doctors and nurses. A good many of them are, but some of them in the healthcare industry, like with X-ray. X-ray can really go in a lot of different directions, especially with the cancer center there now. And I know Hardin County is just building a facility here, so that's going to open some more opportunities. They said they expect to employ between 200 and 300 people, so I would think there'd be a lot of young people that may be interested in interning maybe there.
Right, and that's what with our Nelson County Area Technology Center, those career pathways, we actually have a pre-nursing pathway and a phlebotomy pathway. So any student interested in healthcare, it kind of gives them a feel whether they like it or not, and then allows them to get those certifications before they graduate.
And tell them what a phlebotomist does.
I mean, to my knowledge, they stick people. They take people's blood.
the reason I laugh at that because my girlfriend became one of those when she went to school, and she was the most you just would have never in a million years thought that would be the career path that she chose. We thought maybe teaching, maybe English, or maybe something she was very quiet and just kind of subdued and stuff. And she said that career, once she started it, she said she absolutely loved it. And in fact, she went back to school and got her teaching certificate so she could go back and teach. But she said really, once she was in the hospital setting and doing, she said it was just she felt definitely an art, because I know if you've ever had your blood taken and it's not done very well, you certainly notice it. And she said she just got so good at it that she just really started, looking forward to going to work. She liked the people that she worked with, and I think that makes a big difference. I think a lot of especially young people are looking for something that they're going to enjoy and something that they can look at the longevity of.
I agree with that.
And how did you determine what you wanted to do with your career? Because I know you were very young still, but I know when we met a couple years ago, you seem to have a very definite path that you wanted to follow.
That is so not true how it started. I went to college. Whenever I was in high school, we did not have all of these events, so I went to college not knowing what I wanted to do or
Okay.
why I was even going to college. I was just going because that's what I thought I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
So after I got out of college, I worked multiple part-time jobs through college. And then whenever I graduated, it actually took me a while to find my first professional job. Even though I had a part-time job, everyone kept saying, you don't have experience related to your degree. You don't have experience. And so I finally had someone give me a chance. So I actually started in social work, which then led me to workforce that was kind of similar to case management and social work. And then from workforce, this is where I am today. So I definitely did not have a path, and that's why I see how important it is for young individuals to get that experience early.
Right. And they definitely, I know they always ask for your past experience. And I know a lot of young people today, I know a couple of my grandkids that are getting older have never had summer jobs because they're so involved in sports. They always have, one was in football, had football practice every single day. It was really hard to work a job, around that. And if that is a problem, I know a lot of the businesses will, kind of work with them to kind of adapt that to their schedule.
They will, and that's the nice thing about co-ops and work-based learning. We do have some students that participate that do also have extracurricular activities. So, I mean, they might be at their co-op placement from 1 to 4, and then go to that extra activity.
Okay. Well, I know when we met with the reality check and you did the whole 8th graders that you had, how many students were there that day?
There were
a
almost, what did I say?
I'm thinking 400.
I'm thinking
kind of
you're
sticks
right.
in my head, about 400.
Yep, that sounds about right. 350, 400.
And that was 8th graders, and truly I was amazed to see the different levels, obviously, of interest, certainly with all the different, things that you had to offer. I know in banking, the banking person that was there just kind of went into detail that some, even their parents, do not balance their checkbook, do not maybe check to make sure that there's, things are being taken care of on the financial end. And you said the accounting and that kind of thing. What kind of business would they go to? Like a CPA firm, or really everyone needs an accountant?
Yep, you're so right. That's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah.
It was funny because at our networking and job fair, we actually had a little over 30 businesses there. Almost 700 students participated in that.
Oh my goodness.
And I stopped a student, and she didn't know where to go. And I said, well, what's your interest? And she said, accounting. I don't know where to go. And I said, well, take your pick, because every business has to have an accountant.
That's so true.
So it is, again, just opening these students' minds, and her eyes got wide. She was like, you're right. And I'm like, yeah, you don't, it's like accountants just aren't at a bank. They are at our big advanced manufacturing plant. So a lot of students don't realize the good opportunities that lie within some of our local business and industry.
That's so true, because I know, like, even in some of the biggest industries, well, look at all the new distilleries that we have coming into town. There's going to be a tremendous amount of open doors and positions that they're going to want young people there, good, strong hands that can do hard jobs, and then also the kids that, want to do the accounting or the, things that might be a little bit more difficult, but with training and with some experience, they would definitely get there.
Yeah, tons of opportunities for
Yeah.
us.
So what's your normal day look like? What kind of things do you work with every day? Do you work with individual students? I know whenever we worked on a project, it seems like you're involved in 3 or 4 things all the time, and I guess that's just part of the job.
Yeah, that is my favorite part of the job. I have been told before I have my hands in a little bit of everything. But again, with my experience of coming from what I worked with at the workforce. A typical day, I speak to a lot of business and industry, whether it's about pre-apprenticeships, apprenticeships, again, that work-based learning. Work with Elizabethtown Community Technical a lot. We work with dual credit, again, trying to give our students more opportunities. So work with colleges, business and industries, and of course students on individual basis at times. And then of course planning all of our events.
Yeah, it does seem like you have had a lot, I know, this year going on, and a lot of just some of the coolest things that I really thought was the wide variety that you offered these students, because a lot of kids coming into, high school, they've only got 4 years left of school, and so really they're looking at a pathway. How can you help them make those choices? I know if it's something that they like or something they're interested in, but what if they're truly just going, I don't know. I don't know what direction to go in. What kind of help could we offer them to maybe steer them in the right direction? so they don't end up somewhere where they're very unhappy, or the work. If you're in your workplace and you're happy, the days just fly by so quickly. I know you would agree with that, and they just fly by so quickly because you're enjoying yourself. If you're in a job you do not enjoy, it's going to be a long, long day, and so you want to avoid that if there's any way that we can. How can we help them make those good choices?
I think it's, again, guiding them to experience it, guiding them to be exposed to it, guiding them to research it, letting them know that it's okay that they don't know what they want to do, but it's not okay to not try and figure it out. So maybe take a healthcare class, you don't like it, then that's okay. Take a business class, you don't like it, then that's okay. So just guiding them and showing them those options.
So just the wide variety that you're going to offer to see what they can get into. I know a lot of the young people are going through a very difficult time during those last 4 years, because it's like you feel crammed into every single thing that they're doing. I know just working with these seniors, with the senior alumni night, there were so many times when I called the high school and I said I need a date in the spring to set for the senior alumni event, and they went and looked at their calendar. They had one open date where there was not something going on at the school, there was no athletic activity, and there were students available that we could use for that. And to me, that just, he was looking at his whole entire school year, and it's just amazing to me that they are that busy every single day, and there's so many things going on, and I know that's just part of it.
Yeah, before I got in the school system, I definitely never realized what a schedule was like in a school system, because you try and offer everything for every student,
right,
and that equals a lot of things going on. So.
Right, and a lot of travel. I know Sherry McCoven has talked to me before about different projects that she's done, and if a student does want to travel or go somewhere, to expose themselves to some other learning, she offers different things with that. And I'm not sure how that's set up. They'd probably have to call the school system and find out. But I know Nelson County Schools is the largest system in Nelson County, and we do have awesome things to offer them. What kind of things could we say that maybe Nelson County is a little bit better at maybe than some of the other schools, or something they really excel in?
That's a tough question, Dorothy.
Well, just because you're there every day.
Right. Personally, in my area, I love how much dual credit our students are taking.
Let's talk about that. Okay, dual credit. So I've got two things going on instead of one. So instead of just balancing my normal hectic schedule, I'm balancing two different things. How does that work?
Okay, so students, just so everyone knows what dual credit is, it's actually a college level course that students can actually earn while in high school. So students can go to high school having already taken English 101, college algebra, so have already taken some of the courses that they need. We have a student from Thomas Nelson this year that's actually graduating with enough credits to receive an associate's degree as a senior. So whenever she did that, and just looking at how many dual credit classes our students were actually taking, we aligned a program for students who actually wanted to pursue that associates, because we know that it is possible.
It is possible to get through that. That's incredible.
It is incredible.
It is. And I know there's going to be very, few students probably that could participate to that level. But if they even get 1 year or however many credits, tell your parents this, it's going to be free. Anything that you learn at the high school level and take college credits for are all covered. And
yes and no. So through Kentucky Department of Education dual credit scholarship, each student, junior and senior, do get 2 free courses.
Oh, okay.
But other than that, you still have to pay for the coursework. But instead of, I'm going to use Elizabethtown again as an example. Elizabethtown Community Technical, for a student who is out of high school, it's $157 right now per credit hour, while a student who's in school taking dual credit, it's about $64. So it's about half the price.
About half. Well, still, that's an excellent, incentive, I think, to really motivate them to maybe get into the dual credit program if that's anything that they're able to do.
And you made a comment with the associates. You're right, it's not for everyone.
Right.
So we've also been working with our Nelson County Area Technology Center to actually offer dual credit in the technical fields as well. So for example, our welding instructor currently is able to teach dual credit. So if a student doesn't want to pursue an associate's,
Okay.
and they were interested in welding. They can actually get dual credit and earn a welding certificate from ECTC. So a different,
wow.
again, trying to catch every kind of student.
Right. And we do have children from all different, and I call them children, they're still young people, but from all walks of life in Nelson County. Being the largest school system, we are spread out in a very large area, and there are folks, from all walks of life. We have a lot of people that are still running their family farms. I know a lot of kids, we have a very strong FFA program. I know whenever I've been, different things that they do, I'm just totally amazed at their knowledge, but they said, I grew up with it. That's just what I know.
Oh, yeah.
So the more things that we can concentrate on and really get these kids just ready for graduation, that now just coming up here in a few weeks for graduation, I know as it closes in on that, a lot of kids are feeling a lot of pressure, and just that, this is something that they've been working on for a lot of years, but do they have enough credits? Do they have the, what they need in order to, take that next step? So, is there anything else that you want to share today as far as your students or with the business and industry? I know I hear this all the time that it's so difficult to find really good people. And if we start when they are younger, they're going to automatically know that if this is not what they want to do, then they can, maybe change hands the next year. I know somebody told me one time, don't ever get into retail nights unless you want to work nights and weekends. And to me, that made a huge impression. I didn't really want to work nights and weekends, and so I've tried to kind of steer away from retail. But a lot of kids, really enjoy that and want to pursue that kind of a.
Right, and that's what a lot of business industry are starting to realize, and students are starting to realize it's a benefit to find something you don't like just as much as is a benefit to find something that you do like.
Right, so you can cross that off the list.
Right, it's important.
It is. Well, I really hope to go on. Maybe we can bring in, let's have a success story. Maybe bring in a student after they've completed. I know we might have some time in the summer or something to bring in a student, have them talk to us about where they're going in the fall, or maybe if they're participating in a work program right now, then we can just, bring them in, kind of hear their side of the story and how they felt that we did a good job at the things that you're trying to do, and how we could do a better job, what they felt that, maybe something was missing and what we could fill in for them. I just think that that's really exciting. This is our future. These are our young people that are going to be stepping into the workforce very soon, and just hopefully they're college career ready.
You're right.